If nobody talks about you, then you are nobody. Then you are nobody. Remember, child.
All is One Reflections. I am Priestess Osun Funke from the Orisa Hoodoo Institute. Tonight, I'm going to be talking about the stages of manifestation using the metaphor of fire. These teachings are from my book, Fire and Flame. The first stage of manifestation is the spark, which has to do with the conception and initiation. So the conception is coming up with a concept. It's right there in the word itself, right? Conception. We come up with an idea. We believe we can do it. And so we've decided that we're going to. Every fire begins with a spark, something that is small and fragile, but charged with potential. This spark represents the moment of inspiration, the seed of an idea, the early initiation into a path or a discipline would even fit here. So it's not just about an idea saying you're going to do something, build something, or create something. It could be a new undertaking. It could be the start of a degree program. Y'all, I decided at my ginormous age that I should go back to school. I'm currently a PhD candidate. I'm almost done. But what was I thinking? There was some initiation, some beginning thought process that led me here. And now everything that I do is now supported by that initial idea. And everything that I do is in service to that idea. So the books that I write, the classes that I teach, the conferences that I attend, and so on and so forth are as a result of me making that decision and also in support of it. So I talk a lot about us living interdimensionally, the past, where our ancestors have come from, the present or the eternal now where we are and where we always occupy, and then the future that we are preparing for those coming after us. It's very similar when you talk about the three stages of manifestation or the three stages of fire or really any Holy Trinity. You have the beginning, which would be, in this case, the spark, that idea. You have the manifestation itself, where all of creation has come together to support what it is that we said we were going to do, because we know that God has said, anything you ask in my name, I will do it. So when you're in the manifestation stage, and then finally in the ember stage, when you've done exactly what you said you were going to do, now you get to sit back and evaluate and see how that thing is coming to fruition, if anything needs to be tweaked, if anything further needs to happen. So not only does the spark apply to ideas like a business idea or the idea that we may have to go back to school or the idea to move across country, but it also can be connected to an initiation, the start of our spiritual path. I do ancestral life path readings. Many of you have come to me for ancestral life path readings. And you know that that is one of the beginning stages for becoming a practitioner in the Orisa Hoodoo doctrine. And on that path, one of the milestones is your ancestral life path reading. It puts you on a path to connect with your ancestors, to understand who they are and how to tap into that cloud of shared consciousness. And how do you do that? What times of day are best for you to do that? How do you pray? Where do you pray? So on and so forth. The same could be said for something like receiving your eleges. The same could be said for receiving your hand of Ifa. For some people, it could be your first trip to Africa, to walk on the land of your ancestors and to sit at the feet of elders and to participate in those rituals real time. All of these will be examples of the initiatory spark that gets you started on your path. In human life, the spark stage is when someone is newly trained or freshly indoctrinated, or just beginning a spiritual or creative journey. This could be learning to do something new, like learning to crochet, like learning to bake on a professional level, anything where you are beginning. A biblical reference that I would like to bring up here would be Exodus 3 and 2. And this is the story of the burning bush. Most of us know this story, where the angel of the Lord appeared to him, and the flame of fire from the midst of a bush, and the bush was burning with fire, but the bush was not consumed. That's very important to understand that this bush was ablaze. It was on fire. But as hot as that fire was, as bright as that fire, that light bulb, right? Think about how brightly you are burning when that light bulb of inspiration is above your head. No matter how hot that fire is, you should not ever be consumed by your inspiration, only invigorated by it, propelled forward by it, right? So the bush was not consumed. I feel it necessary here to talk to some of my entrepreneurs. Y'all, I'm a serial entrepreneur. I've been owning successful businesses since I was in my 20s. And the one thing that you must do when you follow an idea or you follow inspiration is to make sure you keep a stream of income that is going to provide for you, that allows you to produce without the stress of survival. Being in survival mode can have you approaching life with a sense of lack, which is also a very difficult stage to produce from. So do not be consumed by your ideas, no matter how bright they are. And that's just one entrepreneur to another. I want to talk here about the metaphysical law of mentalism, because all manifestation begins in the mind. Even if you think about everything that we experience in the flesh, is because it began in the mind of God, of the Most High, the creative force that we all come from. So everything is mind. Everything begins with a thought. Thoughts become things. That is what the law of mentalism is. So as we're coming up with things that we want to do and who we want to become and how we want to walk and where we're even headed on that walk, we know that the mind is where creation comes from. So be impeccable with your thoughts. The next phase of manifestation is the flame. And the flame has to do with growth and expansion. And the concept here is a fire that's already underway. A flame is a sustained spark. It has caught on. It is growing steadily, and it is radiating with warmth and light. The flame represents manifestation in progress, a project that is well underway, fruit beginning to appear. The flame is visible, it is undeniable, and it requires both fuel and discipline. The fruit is beginning to appear. Y'all have all heard the Bible verse, you will know them by their fruit. It is the things that you manifest that leave their mark. And it's best to be as intentional as possible with these things that you are manifesting, because when you don't, then you lose control over what your legacy will be, over what the impact that you are having on those that you come in contact with will be. Your fruit is the results of your labor. Your fruit is how your preparedness informs your actions and how that connects to your unique gifts and talents, right? All of those things are very important for manifestation. The 16 principles of E5 tell us that our natural gifts and abilities must also align with those things that we decide to do with our life. Otherwise, you're wasting a whole lot of energy because you were created a certain way and put here a certain way. You're already set up for the win. And so it's your job to know who you are, to do your shadow work, and to sit on the mat and get your divinations and understand what the best way forward is going to be for you, and then to be obedient to that instruction, so that the things that you endeavor to do on a daily basis as part of your career line up, so that you can be most impactful, so that iron can sharpen iron, so that you can heal and help as many people as possible. And your fruit will be an indication of that. They will say, oh, you know her. She did X, Y, and Z. She fed so many people with those lovely cakes that she made. She healed so many people with those tea blends that she put together. Oh, she was an amazing artist. She helped people see themselves in a way that they never did before with those beautiful paintings that she painted. They will know you by your fruits. So the flame is the fruit. It's evidence of your initiation. It's evidence of your inspiration. It's evidence of your hard work. That's the flame. The metaphysical law of vibration aligns very well with this concept. Everything vibrates. Flame raises vibration and energy output. When you are well into your manifestation phase, then the flame of inspiration and continued intention and attention to the details to make things work, and being a good steward and utilizing our resources properly, and all these things that we know that we have to do to not only manifest, but to keep a manifestation alive and healthy, then the law of vibration is going to make sure that those things come into fruition with more fullness, with greater impact. Also, the law of vibration says that as you vibrate within your purpose, within your intention, then you will call to you those things that you need to experience to make your endeavor that much more effective. The final stage of manifestation is the ember stage, fulfillment and completion. Embers are the glowing remains of the flame, steady, enduring, and often very quiet. That is how it should be when you manifest. After your manifestation is done, you don't need to be on Facebook bragging about how you did it, how fast you did it, how you did it by yourself, how you got it out the mud, how can't nobody do it like you. We should be able to see that. Your fruit should speak about what it is that you have done. The ember is quiet. The ember is sophisticated and multifaceted. Baptism by fire that sometimes we have to go through in order to get to the other side of growth and initiation. It all gets burned up, tossed around, and then in the end, we just see a gentle glow, something sophisticated, something letting us know that a change has taken place. The ember is steady, it's enduring, it's quiet. It represents manifestation fulfilled and matured, learning that has reached a level of attainment. Work is complete, but the fire has not died. A person can still remain inspired. A person can still remain determined to continue to do work. Once you have completed a goal, it doesn't mean that you stop working or that you stop having dreams. It means that you check that off your list and you move on to the next thing. So the ember is a signal that you can shift your attention to your next best thing. Malachi chapter 3, verses 2 and 3. And it says, "For he is like a refiner's fire. He will purify the sons of Levi and purge them as gold and silver." This is talking about the transformative properties of fire being accomplished, being purged as gold and silver, like the refiner's fire, like a dusty rock, and you come out something sparkly and beautiful. You wouldn't even believe what some stones and metals look like before they are refined. But it is the fire and flame that transform them into something that's usable and beautiful and coveted. So, in conclusion, the stages of manifestation, using the cycle of fire as a metaphor, is the spark, which is the beginning of an idea, a revelation. This is connected to the law of mentalism. All things begin in the mind. The next stage is the flame, which has to do with growth, expansion, and visible progress. The metaphysical law here is the law of vibration. And lastly, we have the ember, which represents the fulfillment of an idea or an intention, maturity, and legacy. And the law that is connected there is the law of transmutation. What I'd like to do is do a reading for you. And I want you to choose the stage of manifestation that you would like to identify with for the purpose of this reading. So the first stage that I'm going to read on is the spark. So if you identify as a spark, I'm going to ask, what is it that you need to know right now about your undertaking? This can be an idea. It can be a trip that you have planned. It can be a relationship that you are considering. It can be an invention that you may be working on, a book that you want to write. So for my sparks, I'm going to, y'all see my bone board here. Okay. And I'm going to do a reading with the bone board. So for my sparks, what do you need to know? What do the sparks need to know about their undertaking at this time? All right. Just let you take a quick glance at the board. I know you don't know what any of this stuff is, but I'm going to start right here with my student stone, okay? And you see that this student stone is kind of equidistantly between these two tiles, okay? And so what that has to do with, that student stone being between battles, because that's a battle shield, and the thumbs up is saying that somewhere between the fight and the thumbs up is a lot of learning, okay? So before you get to that, yes, but we're past the stage of out of the mud, right? You know, people like to say, oh, I got it out of the mud. And we know there's some beautiful things come out of the mud, like the lotus flower, right? But Spirit is saying, listen, if you're here, you're already kind of out of the mud. You've already begun your ascent, okay? But there's still a lot more for you to learn. So you've taken the first step. So this is an advice to value education and learning. Learn as much about this thing that you say you want to do as possible, okay? And sometimes we should value education over our own experience because you do not know what you do not know, right? And if you only endeavor to do things that connect with what you've already done, well, you're just going to get more of the same, okay? So this advice is to educate yourself. Educate yourself on what this thing is that you say you want to do, whether that means, okay, I was looking for something. Whether that means having conversations with people who are able to inform your intention or your desire, or whether it means actually reading a book or going to school, or whether it means observing others who have done what it is that you say you're going to do. You need to learn, okay? You need to learn more about whatever this thing is. The next, this is a good one. The next piece of advice that I see here is, try to get the camera right. Okay, right here, you see my tiger's eye. I have the tiger's eye, and it is over the crown chakra. So this is saying you don't need to create a road. The road will appear once you start walking it. The road is written on the inside of your forehead. You already have the map, right? You just need to start moving your feet one in front of the other, and you're going to be led to where you need to go. And it's a divine destiny. That's what the crown chakra is saying. It vibrates up here. Once you start on your path, when you're informed by spirit and you're obedient to spirit and you're doing what you need to do, that thing that nobody else can do like you, the path will be laid out in front of you. You don't need to know exactly how many miles it is from here to there or where you're going to turn coming up. You'll be led, okay? Over the bullseye, I have the transformation stone. So this is saying that things, again, really, if I'm looking at this board for my sparks, it's saying that things are going to take a beautiful turn. The bullseye, you being on target, you being properly positioned to win, is going to manifest. But you just have to start moving your feet. Look right here, and I want you to see this. Right here, between the clown and the person turning out their pockets, I have the lock. You are stuck between foolishness and poverty in your mind. You're always talking about what you don't have, and that's locking you into your current position. You're always talking about what you don't have. You easily explore your difficulty and your deficits. They're saying that's foolish. They're saying you should be more attuned to what you need to accomplish what you want rather than what you don't have. Okay? You're focusing on the wrong things. And because you're focusing on the wrong things, look right here. Look right here. Water slipping through someone's fingers. The money stone was over that. You're losing opportunity. You're losing real estate. Opportunities are slipping through your fingers. Things of value are slipping through your fingers because you're spending more time focusing on what you don't have instead of what you need. What do you need the ancestors to help you to manifest? What do you need? What thought forms do you need to tap into and give life to experience and have what you need to do the things that you want to do? Or are you going to focus on what you don't have, what you ain't never had, what you ain't seen nobody have? Those things don't get you closer to what you want. Over the buried treasure, I have, I don't know if you can see that, the clear quartz. We need to amplify what's buried. We need to take a proper accounting of what we do have. We need to do some shadow work to find out why we spend so much time and energy on what we lack instead of what we have or what we want, right? Over the message, I have the fish vertebrae. And so that is saying that we need to go with the flow. The message is keep putting one foot in front of the other. Keep swimming, keep moving, and it will all be revealed to you. Okay? And over the sacral chakra, I have the closed bottle cap. And you know, my bottle cap has that apple on it, which always makes me think about school, right? Always makes me think about an apple from my teacher. And the solar plexus, the sacral chakra is dealing with I want. So this combination is talking about, in this instance, you want to be educated. You want to learn more. What you want is going to be connected to you learning more about what it is that you want to manifest. And deeper than that, this closed bottle cap is saying, listen, you are limited by what you know now. You're limited by where you are now. You do not know what you do not know. And so if you want to experience this thing, if you want to manifest this thing, you're going to have to educate yourself. You're going to have to move beyond your comfort zone and move beyond where you sit in this moment if you want to manifest whatever it was that you asked about, my dear Sparks. Okay? So that is the reading. Next, I'm going to do a reading for the flame. So if you identify with the flame, you have a project that you've already begun, you've been working on it, and you just need to check in. You need to evaluate it. Maybe you've lost your way. Maybe you're slightly discouraged. Let's take a look at it, okay? Okay. I'll just let you take a look at the board. I know y'all don't know what you're looking at, but just for the sake of transparency, let's see what we got on this board, okay? All right. So in different, here I have the student stone, the same one from the earlier reading, but it's over the future, okay? And it's saying in the future, you will be able to evaluate what you've learned. You'll be able to see that that education that you were told to invest in, you'll see how it paid off for you. In the future, you're also going to learn more about processes and how to make this particular kind of manifestation easier, okay? You're going to learn how to do it better, is what Spirit is saying, for those of you who are flames. So keep going, and you're going to learn how to do it better. And what you learn is going to be able to help other people. Over the bullseye, over the archer, the bow and arrow. Let me show you. Over the bow and arrow here. Can you see that? The bow and arrow. I have snowflake jasper, which is a stone that talks about something being unique, something being different, something being possibly not predicted. Okay. So hitting your target is going to look different than what you thought. The win is not going to be the way you thought it was going to be. It's going to be totally different, but you will win nevertheless. Okay? You're going to win nevertheless. Over caution, I have the skull. So caution should not be allowed to die, okay? You need to remain diligent and careful. Because your project is underway, you've probably already spent things of value, whether that be money, time, resources, called in favors, taken trips, all of these different things that you've done to put you closer towards your goal. Be careful. Be careful about further expenditures, and be careful about changing your mind, okay? Over fear, I have a broken piece of the fish vertebrae. Don't you get scared. Don't you get scared and stop. Stop the flow. Remember, I had the bigger piece, and it's here too in this reading. The bigger piece of the fish vertebrae, which talks about going with the flow, following the path laid out for you. Well, this has to do with an abrupt, stopping something abruptly, okay? Stopping the flow, ending the path. Fear. Do not let fear make you do that, okay? Do not let fear take you off course or have you stop. You don't see how far you've come, my flames. Over the person with their head buried in the sand. I don't know if you can see that well, but I have the die on 4 there, right? And so that's saying you can't even see how far you've come. In fact, not only can you not see how far you've come, but you're refusing to see anything at all. And that's the foundation for how you're evaluating yourself. And you know what? That's not kind to you. And that's not kind to your ancestors and to all the forces that walk with you, that embolden you, empower you. It's not fair, nor is it grateful for you to act like you haven't done anything, for you to act like you don't see all the things that you have done and all the things that you are doing. Be kind to yourself. Pat yourself on the back a little bit. Say, I did that. Oh, I finished that book. Yes, I did. I got that paper in on time despite all the other stuff that was going on. I ran out of sugar, but I figured out how to use honey instead. Okay. I didn't have this thing, but I had that and I did it. Okay. Take proper accounting. Pat yourself on the back. Be kind to yourself and be grateful. My flames. Look at this. Over the water slipping through someone's fingers, I have the brass ring. Y'all, this means that what you want, you're losing sight of what you want. You forgot why you started all of this. Why are we even here? What are we doing? What is it that you intended to do? You got to remember that. Remember why you are even here. You're losing track. You're losing sight of what this was all for. Reevaluate your goals. Revisit them. Write them down. Get you an accountability partner. Let somebody help you. Okay? Talk to your godmother. If you don't have one, get you one. They're amazing. Okay? Reevaluate your goals. You don't see logic anymore. You may be so burned out. I got this this cloudy quartz over logic. You're probably so bogged down. You may be tired, my flames. You may be tired. You may be fatigued. You might even be a little bit discouraged. And again, you've forgotten why you were even doing it. And now logic is escaping you. And logic would probably remind you that you've come too far to turn back now. Logic would tell you that you've done so much, you only have to do a little bit more. Logic would inform you that nobody else is doing what you are doing, and what you are doing needs to be done. You need to be logical, okay? Not emotional about this. Do the math and you will continue. Don't change things. Over change, I have the tiger's eye, but it's upside down, right? So this is a little piece, and I love it because it's either right side up or upside down, because it's flat on the bottom. So over change, don't, okay? Do not create change is what they're saying. Steady your course. Stay on your course. You've come too far to turn back now, flames. I don't know who picked the flame, but don't you quit. Don't you dare quit. Keep going. Remember why you're doing this. Remember who you're doing it for. Remember that you're the only one that can do it like you do it. Okay? Keep going. Over the thumbs down, I get the lock. You see that? Yeah, there you go. Over the thumbs down, I get the lock. If you are rigid, if you don't remember that right here, it said the wind is going to be different with this snowflake jasper. If you are rigid, if you try to remain locked into this fairy tale that you may have had about whatever it is that you're doing, you're going to be disappointed because it's not going to look like how you saw it. I know you guys have heard that saying, you know, we make plans and God laughs, right? It may not look like how you think it's supposed to look, but it's going to look like a win. It's going to look like a win. You just have to believe. You have to stay the course. Okay? Don't be locked into your assumptions about how things are supposed to go. And don't be locked into your attachments of how the wind is going to come and how it's going to look. There's so many moving parts. You could never imagine how things are going to fully manifest. Just keep doing your work. Listen to your passion. Remember why you started. Okay? Remember why you started. I get the earring over passion. Listen to your passion. Listen to what got you here. Okay? Don't forget why you are here. And then lastly, over the third eye, I have the battery. Don't stop dreaming. Don't stop dreaming. Don't allow your vision to lose power. Remember what you said you were going to do and keep doing it. And keep doing it until it's done. Okay? All right, flames. So the last manifestation group I'm going to read for are the embers. So listen, you had an inspiration. You started out walking. You ended up flying. You did the damn thing. And now you may be unsure about what to do next, right? Do you do a new thing or do you sit back and enjoy what you did do? Where do we go from here? Well, let's do a reading on it. Let's see. For my embers, what do they need to do? What do they need to know about their manifestation? All right. Okay. So over the future, I have my fishbone, right? But it's that broken piece. So it's saying in the future, you need to stop going with the flow, right? You did it and it worked well. And so you need to probably duplicate that process. If you did it and it didn't go so well, you may need to completely change courses, cut your losses, okay? But if you are in the ember stage of your manifestation, you're not going to just keep going with the flow, all right? You're going to make a decision. You're either going to follow the money and do what worked. And by money, I'm talking about things of value, whatever those things are for you. You're going to follow the money and do what worked, or you're going to wipe your hands and do something different. We're not going to keep putting good after bad, okay? A lot of stuff off the board here. So the next thing, the eternal now. I get the skull over the present. The eternal now is not dead, right? You're always manifesting. So even after you've reached your goal, even after you did what you said you were going to do, there's still more to be done. So this is an advice to keep creating. Keep creating. While you do need to evaluate the efficacy of your work, right? You don't need to put good money after bad, and you don't need to change course if things are working, but you still need to continue to create. You still need to continue to to do things. Okay. Over the past, I have the dice on 3. Don't let the past interfere with what you have going on right now. That's what that advice is about the future, right? Live in the eternal now. Yes, follow the money. Yes, be aware of what worked, but don't live in the past when it comes to your manifestations, right? Continue to expand and unfold. Don't get stuck. Yeah, don't get stuck. Don't let stability slip through your fingers. Look right here. Do not let stability slip through your fingers. If you worked hard to get here, do enough to maintain the market share that you have gained. Do enough to hold on to what you have. Don't let it all be in vain. Don't let it slip through your fingers. I get the survival stone over the end. Think about legacy. Think about what this has all been for. The purpose of all of this, all that you've done, all that you've come through, everything that you've learned. Don't let it be in vain. Think about those coming behind you. Think about turning whatever this is into something that your descendants will enjoy and benefit from. Whether it's a book that you need to write, a store that you need to open, or a trip that you need to take. Think about those coming behind you. The children are watching you. The children are watching you. I get the student stone over the baby. Okay. So be aware of that. They're talking about legacy, right? Remember, we live interdimensionally, right? We do it for the ancestors. We do it so that we can enjoy the fruits of our labor, and we do it for those coming behind us, and they are watching. And children do what you do, not what you say. Okay? So if you want them to be free, if you want them to be effective, you want them to be powerful, you want them to be wealthy, then you need to be working on becoming those things. They will do what you do, not what you say. My embers, I need you to be careful about betrayal. Look at this. Okay, I get the danger stone. You see that tile, that someone being stabbed in the back? I get my danger stone there. Listen, there is someone who's going to betray you if you are not careful. Something connected with what you have asked about manifesting. If it's a job, if it's a business endeavor, a partnership, particularly if it's a partnership, maybe you even want to hire someone to help you in your business. Be careful. There's a betrayal that is forecasted here. And if you need more information about that, you just will have to book a private reading. But be careful about betrayal. Your meditation. First of all, you want to make sure that you're meditating, okay? Make sure that you're meditating so that you're receiving those spiritual downloads so that you can be helped and informed by spirit. Because over meditation, I get the earrings. So make sure you're listening to what comes through in your meditations. But I also have the battery. Meditation is going to give you power. It's going to help you align with what is best for you. It's going to give you a roadmap. So you need to make sure you're meditating. And the last thing, over the heart chakra, I have fool's gold. I want you, oh no, that's not fool's gold. I'm sorry. That's hematite. Over the heart chakra, I have the hematite. Be anchored in your heart, right? Make sure that you do what is in your heart to do. Make sure that you evaluate things from your heart space. That doesn't mean be emotional and unreasonable. It just means that your heart is going to emit the proper frequency to call those things to you that are going to align you with your next best thing. So if you believe that your project is finished, if you believe that your manifestation is finished, then stay in your heart space so that you can be connected to the next best thing for you. And that is the reading. So for my sparks, my flames, and my embers, I hope that that was informative. I hope that I was able to speak into your experience, if only for a moment, to help you see a way forward. If you enjoyed the teachings from tonight, please do order my book, Fire and Flame. What'd I do with it? Order the book. It's available on Amazon. You can search for it by title. You can also search for it by my name. It's also on our website, Orisa Hoodoo Publishing.com. I thank you so much for joining me tonight. I love y'all deep like the river. Peace.
Nobody talks about you, then you want